So I'll tell you what's going on here. So when I made Lead Master for OJX, the idea behind it was we needed a platform for management of leads. Now, when I'm talking about leads, I'm talking about people who register on a website, on places like ICX.in, things like that, where there were multiple sources for leads coming in. You had your Google Forms, you had your leads coming from the national website, you had some random promotions going on. So what we decided was when we got the platform HubSpot, we decided to prevent people from making local forms because that just looked inefficient. I mean, not inefficient, but rather it just looks like uh, cheap. Okay, it looks like a random homemade startup thing like that. It doesn't look like a well-established company, and we didn't want to give off that. We didn't want to give off that impression, which is why we decided to nationalize the forms. That evolved eventually into Lead Master, which took care of a lot of other things for OGX, like allocating the leads automatically to members and things like that. All right, but in case of ICX, I mean, from what I've identified, the biggest issue is not things like the number of clients registering on a website or something, but the number of applicants you guys get, because that can easily cross 20, 30, 40 in a day on good days. On some of the LCs, it could even cross 100. So keeping all that in mind, Lead Master for ICX is not designed to handle your attraction phase, but it's handled to design sorry designed to handle your consideration phase. So when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about your applicants. When people apply for forms, this is how things look like now. Can everyone see the this presentation on the screen? All right. So what's happening right now is that supposing take a case of a random EP and a random LC. All right. So what's happening right now is an EP applies to a form, and the first EP manager on the form gets an email from ISEC in India saying that, hey, an EP has applied to your form. You should check this guy. All right. And what happens next is that uh, the person who receives the email may not even be the person who's actually handling the form, or who's in charge of responsible for the EP, responsible for getting in touch with the EP and stuff like that. So they probably have to update one tracker, which is a Google sheet. Then they have to get in touch with another member who's actually the person who's supposed to get in touch with the EP. And then all the follow-up interactions happen on a Google sheet, and your data is all over the place. Some on WhatsApp, some on Google sheet. And after that, once the initial contact is established, you have probably either it's never been put on that sheet, or you have another sheet to track conversion or things like that. And there's no national system as such. Okay, every LC has their own system. It may be working for you guys definitely, but it's inefficient, and we can definitely cut a lot of time out of this process. All right. So when I talk about okay, is everyone clear right now? Does everyone follow what I'm getting at? Does everyone understand the pretext to this? And can everyone relate to this? Is there any LC over here that follows a completely different pattern? Of course, there might be minor variations to how things look, but then I think 99% of LCs could fall under these use cases. All right, looks good. Cool. So, moving on. When I talk about time, look at how much time gets lost. Okay, like okay. So now when I'm talking about within 2 hours and you get an email, yes, that is something that cannot be cut down because that is the amount of time it takes for me to get the data from Expa. But all the time that's wasted after this in regard to updating the sheet, in regard to getting in touch with another member, in regard to getting in touch with the EP, basically all the time that's wasted before you can actually get in touch with the EP. Okay, and then all the time that's wasted after you get in touch with the EP to actually track that said EP is pointless time. Is time that could be automated, and you guys could be spending that time doing more, getting in touch with more EPs, or doing other activities that are more that actually require human interaction rather than wasting your time doing these redundant tasks. So when I'm talking about cutting down the number of steps, I'm talking about cutting down everything that's required. Because you don't need to do that. You don't need to go and update a Google sheet. You don't need to go and tell another member that somebody's somebody needs to be contacted. You don't need to go and constantly update their status on that Google sheet if they've been matched, if they've been realized, things like that. Why not just have something as simple as this? Someone applies to the firm, the people who are supposed to manage the EP will get a link to that, to the application, and then that page which you get, the link that you get, will handle all your follow-up interactions. You never actually need to go and copy that data into another sheet and things like that. And that's what lead master is here to solve. That's what I'm here to, that's the redundant step, the extra steps that I'm here to cut out for you guys. So here, when I'm talking about lead master for ICX, I'm not talking about your people who sign up on ICX, yeah, but I'm talking, I mean, on the website, but I'm talking about ICX applicants. All right. So this is how things look so far. But of course, it would not be complete if I did not actually show you guys how the system looked, how the system worked. And for that, I had a few piloting LCs. Thank you so much, Chennai, Mumbai, and Hyderabad, for your inputs. Because finally, using all your inputs, I've been able to take all these inputs and create a system that I believe should be able to cover at least 80 to 90% of the LC's cases. All right, so are you guys ready to see how things look? So I am back. So sorry, there was my I disconnected. What is the last thing you guys heard from me? So I'll resume from there. Oh, awesome. Okay. So it disconnected just as I finished talking. Brilliant. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen right now and give me a few seconds because I have the screen share ready, but then disconnected. Okay, cool. I've got my screen ready to share. Brilliant. You guys can see my screen? All right, perfect. So I'm gonna have a chat box open on the right over here so that I know what you guys are saying. And I'm gonna get into this. All right, brilliant. Not available on mobile. Oh shit. Alka, I guess you'll just have to like um, view the output video when I post it. Although I've have used a screen share on mobile before, so I'm not sure. I guess you're using a very ancient mobile. I'm sorry. Uh, all right, for the rest of you guys, I am here, and I don't know if you guys are typing anything. Okay, brilliant. Cool. All right. So this is how Lead Master looks. Can everybody see the dashboard over here? Because if you guys can see the dashboard, then I'll be able to move on to the other pages. All right. Perfect. Cool. So I'm logged into Rehan's account right now, courtesy of ICX in Chennai. I have blanked out all the EP names and phone numbers and email addresses in best interest of their privacy because this webinar will also be uploaded as a recording. So rest assured, obviously, when the platform is launched, you guys will be able to view everything. All right. So right now there are two views over here. There is something known as all applications and there's something known as all EPs. So let's go to all applications. So this is basically, give me a few seconds because it will be a little slow considering my net is also hosting a webinar. Awesome. So how things work is on this page, you have a list of all your applications. So when I'm talking about an application has an opportunity associated with it and an EP associated with it. And this is how your applications page looks. So you can see the opportunity, which organization the opportunity is from, what project it forms, falls under, and this is for IGV, and for IGT, it will show you the field, who the VP is. I told you I've hidden it for the webinar, what the status of the application is, where they come from, which home LC they come from, which MC they come from, and I'll talk about the allocation in a bit. All right, on the right over here, you can see there are some quick links over here where you can view the full application. So if you click on the application, or if you click on the opportunity over here, you will be able to open the opportunity on XPA. The other thing is, recently you guys are aware that XPA has prevented you from being able to check on the EP details, right? You can't really open the EP page and view their profile, right? So unfortunately, click on the EP name does not open the EP profile, but it opens the applications page. So you can just find the EP over there and click on them to get more details. All right. The other thing over here is there's a quick link to download their CV. And if they don't have a CV, like it just says that the CV is not available. And the other thing over here is it tells you if a welcome mail has been sent or not. Now I'll now more inform the welcome mail in a bit. Obviously, yes. All right. So let's open a sample application. All right. So I think this is the page that you guys will be looking at the most. So the first thing is that over here you can see that these are some basic details about the EP. I've hidden the name, email address, and phone number, but rest assured that this data is available for every single one of your EPs. And if I'm not wrong, is it true you guys cannot see this data on XPA, right? At least not anymore, not for the last few weeks. Am I right? All right, brilliant. So that data is available here. You have their email address, you have their phone number, you have their Facebook profile, you have a link to download their CV, you have their MC details, You have the email addresses of their EP managers and the phone numbers of the EP managers. You can see over here if the EP has paid from their end. The EP early start is supposed to come here. I guess the EP is not filled that data over here. What opportunity they've applied to, which organization, and who are the opportunity managers. Okay, and then there's also a link to view all the applications of a certain opportunity. All right, now this part I think will be a lot more interesting because this gives you a lot of control over here. So, so getting back to the send welcome email. So over here on the bottom left, can you see that there is a setting over here that says edit email template? So what's going to happen is that every LC will be able to edit a standard email where you can basically say that, okay, thanks for signing up for, thanks for applying to this particular opportunity in this particular LC, and we'll get back to, some certain, whatever you want to say in that welcome email, and then, we'll get back to you shortly. And of course, like this, the particular opportunity and the particular LC and things like that will be automatically filled into the template. And you guys basically can edit the template depending on how your LC sends their initial interaction with EPs. And then over here, now this is not actually sending an email. I've disabled all that for the sake of the webinar. But when you click over here, when you say send welcome email, the EP will it'll automatically send a standard template to the EP saying thanks for applying to our opportunity, blah blah blah. All right, and then you can use their phone number or Facebook profile or email address or whatever means necessary to get in touch with them. And once you've gotten in touch with them over here, there are some standard responses. I'm still working on what kind of response, and I'd love your feedback as to what standard category of responses do most of the EPs come under, because you can see over here that most of the time either the EP was not contactable or the EP has to contact later, or the EP is definitely able to come to the project, no issues, or the EP is able to come but not in the specified date, or the EP is probably interested in the LC but not in the project. Whatever, you can mark that over here, and then you can mark them as contacted. And now you can see that they have been, like, in the future you'll be able to see that this EP has been marked as contacted. Then over here you can quickly toggle between whether they are interested or not, and over here you can see there are some filters where you can you can either you can view all the interested EPs, you can view all the disinterested EPs, you can view all the EPs that have been interviewed, not interviewed. So supposing, okay, cool, this EP is interested. Now in the future I can just click over here and I'll get I'll get a list of all the EPs who are interested. Over here so Expert does not give you the facility to mark an interview from your side. It gives you the interview to mark an interview from the home LC side, of course, but not the host LC side. So again, here you can toggle between interviewed and not interviewed, and you can also schedule an interview. Supposing I want to have an interview with this particular person on the 17th, then I can just click here and say schedule, and it will be scheduled. And over here again, you can click on the interviewed, and you'll be able to view a list of all the scheduled interviews and what date they have been scheduled for. Another thing is over here, if you click on this link, I just hope it loads. So what it does is it'll open Expa, and it's taking its own sweet time. So while this is loading in the background, I'll tell you what it does. So this LC, this EP is coming from this particular LC, and there are certain cases where you might want to get in touch with, say, a VP of that LC or this particular TL of that LC or something. So, and it's quite irritating to go and find that team on Expa and things like that. So this basically will just open that team, that term page for you, so you can basically view their EB. I've just picked a case where the EB is not ready, but let's see. 16. Yeah, here we can see all the details of the particular LC. You can find their email addresses. So in case you want to get in touch with their EB, you now have like a one-click solution to go and find that particular LC's page. All right. And getting back here, over here, this EP is not applied to any other opportunity. Over here, in case an EP has applied to multiple opportunities in your LC, only in your LC, right? Not over India, but in your LC, if this EP is applied to multiple opportunities, they will show up over here. And over here, you can just write any notes you like about the EP. Supposing there was some response that didn't fall under one of these categories, you can probably mark it as other, and then you can write some notes over here, or whatever you can use the notes column however you like. There are some basic formatting options available also. So that's how things look for now. All right. So before I move on, is everyone still with me? All right. Brilliant. Um, Thank you, Kevin. All right. So the next thing I wanted to show you. Okay. So now viewing your, this is just viewing your applications, all right? Like, viewing every single EP and every single opportunity and which EP has applied to which opportunity. All right. But what if you don't want to, what if you don't want to view these applications? What if you actually want to look at all the EPs that have just applied to any opportunity at all of your LC? Well, that is also available. So click over here. Again, like I said, the names for the webinar. But this will basically show you a list of all the EPs who have applied to any sort of opportunity in your LC. And over here you can see a list of EPs, what date they've applied, and you can see what all projects they've applied to. So in most cases, and one EP has applied to one project, but in some cases you can see there are EPs that have applied to multiple projects. And that's where the other opportunities comes into play, because if I click on this, the page loads quickly. Here you can see that all the other opportunities this particular EP has applied to. All right. So this is how Lead Master looks for now. And in terms of the functionality available, in terms of the features available, this is how things look right now. And I'm gonna get back to this view right now. What do you guys see my screen still, or do you guys see the PPT right now? All right, brilliant, cool. So that was Lead Master in general, in terms of how it looks, in terms of how data is presented to you, etc. All right, but the other point I wanted to bring up is that I'm also trying to cut down the amount of time it takes for the relevant EP manager, or the relevant TN manager rather, to get in touch with that particular EP. All right. So as you saw, a lot of time there was allocated to an allocated team leader, which I said I'll come back to later. All right, and this is what I'm talking about. Not able to hear me, guys? Am I audible now? All right. Yes. So again, getting back, what I said was that a lot of places you guys saw allocated to an allocated team leader, and I said I'll get back to that later. So the idea is, if you are a member and you log into Lead Master, you don't want to see every lead of the LC, right? You only want to see the leads that are relevant to you, the leads that you are going to be managing or that you are currently managing. All right. And similarly, if you are a team leader, you don't want to see every single lead of the LC. You just want to see the leads that you and your members are managing. The only person who actually wants to see all the leads of the LC is probably a VP, right? You guys, are you guys with me? Do you guys agree with me? Right. So now the idea is, if I log in as a member, I just want to see all my leads. If I log in as a team leader, I want to see the leads that are allocated to me and the leads that are allocated to my members. Right. So that's where the allocation comes into place. It checks the EP, it checks the opportunity managers of the particular opportunity that an EP has applied to, and using that data, it tries to allocate that lead to a particular member or a team leader. All right. So now, considering it's not so straightforward, because so in a lot of cases things are very simple. There is a VP managing the form, there is a team leader managing the form, and there's a member managing the form. All right. So if the member is managing the form, then like obviously you want the lead to get allocated to member, you want the TL to be allocated to be that member's team leader, and you like the VP will anyway see all leads. So the VP is not relevant in this case. But there are some forms where there are multiple members who are allocated from a specific team. All right. So what happens in that case? So now this is where I hope this slide clears things out for you guys. All right. So how do leads get allocated to members? All right. So in the first case, if there's a okay. So now I'm not considering any VP. for any of these cases because the VP will anyway be able to see all leads. All right. So if there's a team leader and a member as a manager of the form, then it's simple. The lead will get allocated to the member. The allocated team leader will get set to the team leader, which is mentioned in the form. All right. Now, if there's a team leader and multiple members in a form, what happens is the allocated team leader gets set to the mentioned team leader. Now, if I log in as a member of that particular team, I will be able to see all the leads that are allocated to me, and I will see all the leads that are allocated to my team leader and have not been allocated to any member of my team. And then the moment I go and I send that welcome mail, basically saying that hello, thanks for applying, and my name is this, and I will be getting in touch with you. Then that lead becomes allocated to me, and no other member from my team will then be able to see that lead in the future. All right, does this make sense so far? I know this is a little confusing. In case you guys are having doubts, please post it over here. I will take time to address your doubts. Can it be changed in the future? Yes. Do you mean the method of allocation, or do you mean the people who it is allocated to? Yes, it can be changed in the future. Yes, you can change the member it's allocated to. You can change the team leader also allocated to. So that's not an issue. All right. All right, brilliant. Now, coming to a third case, if there is a member and there is no team leader. All right. So now you guys must be wondering, how does lead master figure? I mean, how does lead master figure out whether the person is a member and whether it's a team leader, whether it's a VP? And it's simple. You guys remember, you guys had to fill out your data on Member Connect on members.myisec.in, and you guys all got a unique membership ID, which you guys probably had to use to fill up your GNC forms, right? Right. So that membership was not just for GNC, but that is also used to store data in terms of who you are in the organization, who is your team leader, who are your members, and things like that. And over there, you also have to fill out your EXPA ID, which means you have to link back your account to EXPA. All right. And now what it does is it uses the EXPA ID that you filled out to link your OP portal or your EXPA profile to your lead master profile. I mean your member connect profile. Sorry. And using that link, it can then figure out if you're a member, if you're a team leader, if you're a VP, etc., etc. All right. So in this case, if there is just a member managing the form, it will link back to lead master. It will link back to member connect and see who has been set as your team leader, and automatically allocate that form to the team leader, regardless of whether they're the opportunity manager or not. Does that make sense? All right. Cool. All right. So there is just one more case. It's a very rare case, but it might happen. If there's a team leader and a VP, but there are no members, then what happens? The VP gets treated TL, and the TL gets treated as a member. So the lead gets allocated to team leader, and the allocated team leader gets set to the VP. But ideally, you should avoid that case. You should not be managing forms directly. All right. And some cases to avoid are multiple team leaders on a form, because in this case you don't know who to allocate to, and no team leaders at all on a form. Ideally, it shouldn't cause a problem because it can backlink to Member Connect and find the data. But uh, it's not advisable to just rely on one person to be managing the form and the system to figure out everything else. If you can explicitly state who is the team leader and who is the team member, because then what happens in the future, in case the team leader changes or something, then or the member shifts team or something, then the lead will also shift teams, even though they are being probably managed by. What happened to my screen? No, it's back. Sorry, my screen just went off random. Anyway, yeah. So that's the case. So again, coming back over here, I'm gonna share my screen again. So yeah, over here you guys see the team leader and who is allocated to. And now what I'm going to do is, since I'm logged into Rehan's account, ideally this would be the case of me being logged into a member's account, but in this case I'm logged into Rehan's account, so it's going to treat Rehan as a member. So what's going to happen is when I click on send welcome email, okay, it's going to send the welcome mail, and then the next time I check, so this is the case number 2, where there was a member, or rather where there was a team leader and there were multiple members on that form. All right, so it doesn't get allocated to a specific member, it gets allocated only to the team. All right, and now when I send the welcome email, wait for it. Here you can see it's been allocated person who clicked on send welcome email, and now it is locked to me and nobody else can manage this lead. All right. Again, this is all just data. I'm playing around with it, so it's fine. You don't worry about me doing random things with the leads. Right now, the welcome email does not send because it's not been launched yet. But yeah, all right. So what I want you guys to do right now, and I'm going to give you like 10 minutes for that, along with a question answer session. Okay, so yeah, I'm basically done. I'm done with whatever I needed to talk about. So I'm going to end my screen share right now. What I want you guys to do right now is go to Leadmaster. The link is leadmaster.myicx.in. All right. Now you guys had to generate a username and password to log into Member Connect, right? You can use that same username and password to log into Leadmaster. You don't need to worry about a different, creating a different account and everything. You use that same username and password to log into Leadmaster, and you can see all your leads. I'm going to in the meantime, I will unhide that data that I was hiding for the webinar, but take our side to push changes. But yeah, you guys can log in right now and start working with your leads. I mean, just seeing your leads, seeing what all features are available, playing around with the system. You can do whatever you like with the system right now. Okay, yeah, 2 points to note. One is the leads have not been allocated to anybody, and 2 is you can do whatever you like with the system right now, because I'm going to clear this data and start fresh once we launch it to the entire network. So right now I'm launching it to the team leaders, and my objective over here is to have you guys first of all understand how the system works so that you can push it forward to your membership. Secondly, ensure that all your membership are on Member Connect and their Expo account is linked. And third is also ensure that your your opportunity managers on every opportunity is correctly set so that the lead can be correctly allocated. All right. So yeah, that's how things look. And I'm going to open it for question answers. So you guys can post whatever questions you have right now. And I'm like, no matter how irrelevant you might think it is, please go ahead and post it, because you never know how powerful that question might be. Please go ahead, post whatever doubts are on your head, and I will make sure I answer every single one of your questions. I'm sure you guys must be having a lot of things on your head, so please go ahead and ask them. So when you open a lead profile page, there's a little edit button on the top right. You can click on that edit button, and it will then give you the option to change the member it is allocated to. Also, a few things to note: there are some minor things that are not working in the demo right now. No need to worry. By the time we launch it to the entire network, it will be working. For every single feature will be working. But right now, since it's an internal release, yeah. Okay. Can you please explain case number 2 and 4? Okay. Who can change the member allocated? Okay. So case number 4 is something that should be should be completely avoided. So ideally, you should not be having just a team leader and a VP. You should be having some sort of member also, right? Unless it's one of the rare cases where the TL themselves are managing the client. All right. And in case number 2, what happens is, okay, I'll explain it more clearly. So suppose you have a form, and over there are say 6 opportunity managers. All right. So the opportunity manager number 1 will be say the VP of that portfolio. Opportunity manager number 2 will be a team leader who is handling that team, who is handling that opportunity. And 3, 4, 5, and 6 are 4 members of that team. Now, depending on the LC realities, I'm just going to pick a random case. Supposing in this case, in this LC's reality, how it works is that the on a specific day, a specific member will be taking charge of all the forms, all the people who apply to that form. All right. So now let's assume these members are A, B, C, and D. All right. So, so supposing on day 1, it's member A's day to check that form. All right. So when a applicant, or rather when an EP applies to that form, all 6 people who are opportunity managers will get a saying that somebody has applied to your form. You should check it out. All right. Sorry, not all 6 people. The VP will not get a form. The VP gets a summary mail by the end of the day at 8 o'clock. But the team leader and the 4 members will get a message saying that somebody's applied to your form. Go check this lead out. Now, supposing it is me. Okay, I am A, and it is my turn today to handle all the leads that are applying to this particular form. Now, how you figure out the system and everything is on a system of mutual understanding, how your teams work, etc. I can't control that. But the point is, I log in and I will see that this lead has applied to my team's form and has not been allocated to anybody on that team. So now what I do is I will open and I will click on send welcome email, and that lead will then get allocated to me. So now member B logs in and somebody's applied to a form. They will not be able to see the applicant who applied yesterday on that applicant, and now I'm handling that applicant, nobody else can touch it. All right. Does that make things clear, Mukul? Cool, guys. Go ahead. More questions. In the meantime, I'm undoing that heading for the webinar. All right, brilliant. I've also unhidden the names, so if you guys are on Lead Master right now, you'll be able to see the proper names. Okay, who can change the? When can we start? Okay, wait. I'll answer Mukul's question first. Okay, so who can change member allocated to option? So if you're a team leader and if the lead is allocated to your team, then you can change the member allocated to. If you're a vice president, and then you can basically change anything. And if you're a member, you can't change the allocation at all. The other point is that in case the form is not allocated to anybody, then yes, you can change it by virtue of clicking on the send welcome email and it gets allocated to you. The other point is, in case a lead allocated to has been changed, then the previous person who was allocated to the form will also get a mail saying that somebody has changed the allocation. So just take note of the fact that you are not allocated to this form anymore. This is for security concerns, in case somebody has gained access to an account and is changing things, or for just general convenience, in case you are no longer relevant to that lead and you want to change, and somebody has changed that allocation, then you will be informed about it. Okay, Kevin, when can we start? Okay, when can we start? I'll post a proper timeline. By which ID is the mail sent? It'll be the same ID that you guys are current notifications from. I think it's mcoffice@icx.in. Cool. So with regard to when do we start, we will start in a week. I want you guys to use that week to first of all understand how the system works, I want you guys to ensure that all your opportunity managers and everything are correctly set on all the forms. And I also want you guys to use that week to basically prep your members, get them, ensure that the attendance for the webinar on that day is maximum, because right now I'm seeing there are only 15 people, 14 people over here from 2 commissions, which means I should have ideally been seeing at least about 50 people over here, but that's fine. What else was I doing? Yeah. So in a week, I will host another webinar, which is for all members and TLs of the ICX departments. And in that time, again, like I said, 3 things that need to be taken care of. One is the member connect profiles need to be updated properly. 2 is that the opportunity management need to be set properly. And 3 is you need to be clear as to how the system is working, so that when your members have doubts and things like that, you are able to answer those doubts. All right. Any other questions? If you guys don't have any other questions, just say no questions, so that I'm not just waiting here for somebody to say something. So can the EP reply to that? Yes. Okay. Sorry, I am a mail that goes to the EP. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so sorry. I was thinking about the notification mail. The EP can reply to that mail, even though the sent address is mcoffice@icx.in. The reply to address will be the allocated member's address, so that when they click on reply, it will not reply to MC office, but it will reply to the allocated member instead. Right now, no data is there on LeadMaster, right? I have actually put some sample data on LeadMaster for every single LC. In case you are unable, if you are not able to see any data at all, then first thing, check your member connect allocation. Make sure you are set as Vice President IGV, set as Vice President IGT, set as Vice President IGE, or set as Vice President IGT and IGE. All right, so make sure you are basically either VP IGV, VP IGT, VP IGE, or VP IGT and IGE. You can't mix IGV and IG and stuff like that. So in case there are some VPs who are both or all ICXs, please get in touch with me. I'll have to do some special cases for you guys. If you're not able to see leads, it's fine. You can get in touch with me. If you're in IGV, I'm already in the commission. If you're in IGT, I'll ask SG to admit your commission temporarily. SG, are you there? I think she's part of this webinar. Cool. Don't worry. If you're not able to see any applications, don't worry. I'll get it sorted out. SG, can you just add me to the IGT commission for a face? Brilliant. Correct. Thanks, SG. Cool. Any more questions? It's fine if you guys don't have questions right now. I'll be on your commission, so you can send me questions you need. But yeah, that's how things look. And moving on to the last thing, I've said this a lot of times, but it's up to you how you guys want to use this platform, how you guys can use this to the best of your ability. Because like I said, these platforms are not something that will automatically triple your matching rate, automatically increase your productivity and things like that. It's a convenience feature. It's there to help you guys make life easier for you guys, but it's not there to automatically do things for you. It's how you use this platform to the best of the ability that is going to increase your performance, to increase the conversion rate, and to help you guys match better. And it's up to you how you guys want to use this to the best of your ability. Everything is there, and I'm here if you guys need any things to be added or removed or whatever. I'm always here to accept some feedback. Again, remember, when you're sending feedback, just remember one thing: I'm trying to make a system that is able to adapt to every single LC. So if there are going to be some cases where you still have to do a little bit of manual work, because it is something that is only something that your LC uses, and I can't port that over to a national network. But hopefully, I'm here. Hopefully, I'm helping cut down at least 80 to 90% of the manual work that you guys have, and make things a lot faster, so that you guys are able to use that time for better things. So yeah, I'm done. Thank you guys, everyone who attended. I'm gonna send out a link to the recording by the end of the day, so that the guys who aren't able to attend are able to check things out. And with that, it's